The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are simply that. They are views and opinions of its guests or hosts. They do not reflect Nissan corporate or otherwise. Now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's a Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in your hosts, David, Danny, and Holden.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to way over on the left coast. This is your Nissan Nation podcast, and this is a classic show. This is the Dave and Danny show. This is show, like, episode 1 through 60. All wrapped into one hour long episode.
Amen, brother Dave. You're preaching it. I mean, we are coming to you we are deep inside right now. We are deep inside your ear holes where we're like the alien that is trying to plug through your chest and come out of your chest cavity with an explosion of gore and ichor. That is the Nissan Nation podcast today, and we're happy to be inside you.
We are. We're happy that we're ringing in your skull there, and we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate first and foremost. Let's get to business, Danny. We would appreciate if all of our listeners would go to the Nissan podcast on YouTube and hit subscribe. And that's it.
Subscribe.
We're up to Danny. I hate to say we're viral, buddy. We're up to 252 subscribers, buddy.
Oh man, we're getting that big V right now. Also, a huge request from my side of the aisle. If you would click on your podcast, go down and click on the 5-star review, because of course we are 5-star characters. We put in 5-star work, and we are asking for that review on Apple iTunes or Schmiggledy-biggledy.
Google Play.
What do other people do? I don't know.
Google Play, wherever you listen.
In the non-simpleton world where they have Androids and they can change things in their life. I don't know about the non-simple. We're simpletons, Dave. We like things simple and easy and pretend like we're ahead of the curve on technology. But those people that are actually ahead of the curve, if you could go on your Androidios and somehow tell us that we're really good, that would be fantastic.
Well, and that noise that you're listening to, that is Danny grasping the mic as he's sipping on his California wine, and he's pinky's up there, Danny. If you're gonna do
pinky's up. Sometimes when I have the microphone in my mouth, I get two hands on it, and it gets
a little excited, guys.
I can't stop.
Well, man, so we do not have Holden on here tonight, Danny. We've been freed a little bit. I think
That's why we're taking it back to episode 3 or 4.
What was the one we did the Yeti on, man? That was a long time ago.
Oh man, that was some good stuff.
Well, me and Corbin were talking about that the other day, my son, and it was funny because I tried to do early shows. I think it's like 2 or 3. We kind of did these stupid bits. Like we were really trying to do some, like, I don't know what we thought we were doing, but so I was trying to record some stuff as I had Corbin call me on the phone. And I was trying to record it and him sound like a Yeti, like, rrr, rrr, rrr. And I was trying to do jokes, and it just never worked, man. But me and Corbin were having a ball talking about that the other day of like, I can't believe I did that. And I was like, I can't believe I had you do that.
I got to go back and listen to a couple of the first shows because, you know what? The other day I tried to, and I just got into it, and then something came up, and I stopped listening. But I want to go back and listen. There's some gems back in the first couple of shows.
Like Danny singing about his oil change. That was a classic.
See, you're right. That's a premium gem. If you could find that, that's
we specialize
that's a primo.
in selling off-road Nissan stuff.
This is with our buddy J.R. Carey.
Started driving a Nissan Xterra about 5 years ago.
Old school.
We did it, man, back then. But yeah, man, tonight, that is tonight, guys. So if you're expecting something hard and I don't know, fast and loose is what we are tonight.
If you're looking for a lot of info, tonight is going to be a lot of Dan and Dave yammer on about Nissan stuffs.
And speaking of Nissan, man, since this is a Nissan-based podcast, we there is some Nissan news to talk about, Danny. We got all kinds of stuff going
Nissan
on.
news, Dave.
We well, I mean, there's the what I'm going to lightly call the Ultima Light came out this week or premiered. There's Nissan making us cry a little bit with the throwback to the Z's, and then there's I don't know what you call the new Z, but it's red and it's stickery.
It's a stickery. That's what it is. It's stickery.
And then we have the Camaro version of the GTR. That was really cool. That came out.
The GTR has louvers.
It's called the RS model, or no, the SS model. I'm sorry.
SS.
Yeah.
It's a short production range, so maybe it's a little special edition. They're laying out some cool louvres, some cool stick rays, and some stitchings in the seats to make the eyebrows rise a smidge. I suppose.
Yeah, but I mean, there was all kinds. So the New York Auto Show, which I was supposed to be at, Dan. Let me cry a tear.
I'm a little disappointed about your lack of prudence and your lack of sticking it to the wife and telling her I'm going.
Well, I think it was more of sticking it to my boss and telling him I was going. But let's do this real quick, Danny. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, El Presidente, for that Nissan News music. And that Nissan News music was brought to you by our buddies over at Lifestyle Off-Road, Danny. If you think
they just sent me some Prius Crew stickers in the mail.
Ah, yeah. So you're one of the lucky ones that got Prius Crew stickers.
And limited edition 50th year anniversary Prius Crew stickers.
Oh, man. So let's get to it. The Nissan Kicks plays a strong inside game, and it was named one of Ward Auto's 10 best interiors for 2019, Danny. You know what this says? When you do something original, you get noticed for it. And when you don't do original things and you just rehash things, you don't get noticed for it, man.
That's the damn truth. And that's, we touched on this I touched on this last podcast. Then the Kicks is selling very well. It's a new cool product. Nissan plugged it. They did a bunch of marketing on it. They rolled it out. They did a very good job on it. And go figure, it's selling good. It's getting some awards. It's getting some recognition. Holden can't keep him on his lot.
That's right, man.
Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, what do you know?
Hey, and you would have to build a wall to keep these things back. That's all I'm going to say, is because they build them in Brazil, buddy. But let's see. The panel of 8 Ward's Auto editors also acknowledged the Kick for its high-quality stitching and soft surfaces on the instrument panel. I don't know what exactly that means, but it comes around with the available intelligent all-around view monitoring system, and it works for your blind spots or whatever. I don't know. And you can get a Bose, radio in it, which is pretty cool because from what Holden said is the speakers are in the headrest, and when you're bumping the jams, when you're California, California love. You want that right. You want that right in your ear.
For real though, when I checked that car out when it first came out, and I popped over to the LA Auto Show, I was pretty impressed. It was kind of fun. It was small. I think the biggest thing is that it's super affordable, and so I think that's why it is so popular, because it's affordable. It's small. You can still fit your grown friends in it. It's not tiny, but it's it comes in probably at the Civic price range.
It is $18,640 starting.
Yeah, that's ridiculous in the below 20s. Very, like I said, very affordable. So cool car. I think the Nissan Nation podcast is a very big fan of the Kicks. Holden's wife has the Kicks, so that goes to tell you we're a fan of the Kicks. It's not the manliest, it's not the coolest car in the lineup. There's nothing about the Kicks that says this is the coolest thing on earth.
Right.
However, it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. It says something that, hey, we're going to come out with something cool. Go buy it.
That's right. And it doesn't look like the Ultima. So there's that. It's got that going on,
So with that pivot, let's talk about the new Versa. Dave, the Tortuga Festival. The tortoise, the Mexican Tortuga, they had a festival.
Yeah.
They had a lot of singers there. Where was it? Was it in Florida?
It was in Florida, man. It was
in
in Fort
Florida?
Lauderdale, Florida.
In Fort Lauderdale. It seemed like the people that went to the Tortuga Festival for Nissan had a good time.
I like how you got a little country twang now. All of a sudden, that.
Those boys out down at the Tortuga Festival had a good time. I'll tell you what, that daggone day. But what do you think about the new Versa that popped out at the Tortuga Festival?
Well, I think I'm gonna call it I'm not calling it the Versa, Danny. I'm calling it Ultima Light is what I'm calling it.
Ultima Light. That's a perfect name for it. It is or you could call it the Maxima Double Light, or maybe the Sentra Light-ish.
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
The new Sentra that I've seen screen grabs of, it looks just like this too. So I don't know, man. So we've got small, medium, and large, and extra large if you're into Maximus.
Yeah. Or you could have it double small, medium, large. So this is extra small maybe, or it's maybe just regular small. But what we're really trying to come and tell you is that the Versa has a number of amazing features. However, it is in a very reasonable price range. It's bulbous, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good set of bulbous.
Yeah.
But it's just not very, I don't know, Dave. You tell me.
I don't know, man. Versa is not one of those cars you generally pay attention. It's not supposed to be really one of those cars you pay attention to. So when you see them out on the road, it's just like it blends in with every other little box there is out there. But I mean, it's definitely a design change from the previous one. The previous one was, I don't know, it looked like 20 years old. Other than, I did like the one that the little hatchback they made. I did like the last version of that car.
Mm-hmm.
But
we'll agree to disagree on that. I will say it's a good looking little small car.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad. I mean, it shares the same features as all the other cars,
mm-hmm.
which, I mean, it's kind of Nissan. You got the Rogue Sport, the Murano. I mean, they're all basically the same, different sizes, big, small, little, whatever. And it is very affordable. So on a positive note, it's very affordable. It's small. It shares a lot of the same look, which cool, whatever. And then it's got a lot of cool features. So on a positive note, it's got a lot of good stuff going for it. It's got a lot of stuff built into it. And it's affordable. So that's the Groot spin on a positive note. Because you know how I like to be positive, Dave.
Well, you know the thing that sold me on this car? The floating roof, sir. The floating roof.
Oh, man, the floating roof. I've dropped a couple floaters in my time, and they were never nearly as good as the floater that the roof on the Versa has.
Overall, though, it is a nice-looking car. I mean, you can't crap on the car for what it is, but you just gotta go, hey man, maybe when you guys designed like a few cars and they all looked a little different, maybe those turds didn't float as well, or I don't know, man. Maybe they I don't know. The Sentra used to be its own thing when it was the tiny little car that was an entry-level car, and then the Altima kind of was its own little thing, and then the Maxima was completely different, and now we're just in this thing of, well, this is Nissan's design for cars, and then there's the design for SUVs, and that's all you're going to get. It's a price point now.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And in truth, I don't really feel like any of our listeners care much about a Versa. So let's pivot, Dave.
You're kidding me.
Let's pivot. It's time to pivot to the 50th year anniversary 240Z.
Yeah.
260Z, 280Z, 300Z, 350Z, 370Z, and the sticker car of the 50th anniversary, Red Stripe Z.
Well,
what do you think, Dave?
So we've talked about this for a couple of episodes now. That we knew some Z news was coming out there, and not everything we know we can always share it when we hear it, but. So first off, they teased us with that picture of the ultimate Z garage or sports car garage, whatever they called it, and in the back of our mind, the fanboys of us were like, maybe our little birdies aren't telling us everything, and maybe there's a new car coming out, and of course Nissan just announced that they were bringing back the what's the engine? The RB.
RB26.
Yes. So they were talking about how they're bringing that back out for so people can, if you guess have a.
It was like a race motor or something like that. Yeah.
For your GTR, if you wanted to rebuild it or whatever. So they were kind of bringing that out, and they're stamping some new parts for that car, which is cool because they are taking their heritage seriously. Till we get to about 2004 is when they stopped taking their heritage real seriously. It seems like. So let's see, New York, when the original when the original Datsun Z debuted in 1969, it was a revolutionary for the automotive world, and it really was, man. It was very affordable. It was very sporty, and it was a car that you were 18, you probably could afford. So let's see. It came out then. And it was $3,626. I mean, I'm just saying it was.
It was. I would say it was kind of like the car that was gave a little bit of a nod over to the Mustang folks. You know what I'm saying? The Ford Mustang, a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, it was up in that category. It was in the sports car category.
I feel like it played more in Porsche's market and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it was an alternative because I mean, it didn't look like a Porsche, it didn't look like a Mustang. It was its very own design. It was a very cool design. It had that, and you think back in those days, it had that spacecraft design. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you were to look at a '70s Mustang and a '70s. An early 70s 240Z, it had that I'm going to the moon design, right? Kind of.
Well, and they were, for the time, the suspension tuning of that thing and everything, it was very ahead of its time, and it was for the price. Like you really were kind of getting sports car, like high end sports car for a bargain price. So let's see, in 1970, Danny, they sold 40,000 of this car.
Wow.
Like today.
That's mind-blowing, dude.
Yeah, today, I mean, Nissan doesn't sell 40,000 Titans right now a year. I mean, just to put things in perspective.
Yeah.
What they wouldn't give for that sales number right now,
That's it. That's a big number. And
we're talking.
I mean, it says something about innovation, and it's hard to see Nissan pushing into the New York Auto Show with a sign that says innovation that excites when so little of their product line is innovative.
Well, I mean, stickers are pretty innovative, dude. It takes time
very
to wrap
innovative
that car
50th anniversary. And don't get me wrong, the Titan's fairly innovative. Mm-hmm. I will give them that. That is not what was at the New York Auto Show. And most of their cars are no longer innovative, but that 240Z and even the 300 twin turbo 300Z, that was innovative at the time when that came out. That was one of the fastest production cars the fastest production cars out there. It was an amazing car. You hear about all the Supras. The Supras were they kind of overshadowed the Z a smidge, or quite a bit, especially in the later years. But the twin turbo Z was, I mean, that thing was a screamer, man. That thing was so fast. It was a powerhouse at the time when it came out.
Well, so they kind of go through on this Nissan News. You guys, we've linked this on our Facebook page, but they go through the kind of the timeline of the Z in 1980, the 280Z X, the 10th anniversary edition, and they kind of give you a kind of idea where it was. And then 84 is when they changed the design, and it was the 300ZX. And then 91 when the 300 changed to kind of the real European looking sports car, and then they shut it down after like 96, I believe it was, is when they shut it down for a little bit. And then in 2004 they brought it back out as like there was a 35th anniversary, and then in 2010 they brought the 40th anniversary out. No stickers on it, Danny, but they did go from a 3.5 liter engine to a 3.7, so there was things to be excited about. And then we get to the 50th, and Nissan's been super, super quiet on this 50th anniversary thing. They just weren't telling anybody anything, and probably for good reason, because there was nothing to tell, right?
That's the God's honest truth, Dave. And you know what? The 3.7 was a good upgrade for the Z car. It really held it over for a while. It gave it some new bones. It pumped up some horsepower. And you know what? And that version of the car has been a real track star. It got really good notoriety in the drift world. It did work, and people have embraced it. And if you go on to any social media and you look at the comments on 90% of any post on social media with the 50th anniversary, every single comment says, give us something new. Come out with something new. Stop with the 15-year-old car.
Right.
And I know there's the argument that all the people that are commenting, but at the same time, the people that are commenting are the voice of the enthusiasts, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Whether they will buy them or not, I think is a moot point. I think any manufacturer that's producing a car for 15 years and thinks that if they slap a couple red stripes on it, throw some stitching in some seats, and thinks that their enthusiast market will get on board with that, I think it's like they're swimming in fog, Dave.
It's lazy is what it is. I mean, just to be honest.
I agree fully.
I honestly, I do plan on having a Z in my driveway pretty soon, and I'm
Wait, Dave.
What?
You just threw that out like it was some kind of like,
oh well, yeah. I mean,
hey, one day I'm gonna ride horses.
No, there's plans to have one in the garage for the new.
I love you,
for the studio, man, for the podcast studio in here.
We need to get some sports cars up in our life.
Well, you had a couple, Dan, but they didn't roll.
we never got to the whole driving portion.
But so I look at it and I go, man, I really want one of those. But it's like every kid, I don't know, man. And not to be kind of shitty here, but every kid, 16-year-old to 19-year-old, seems to go through that Z phase where they've had a 2005 Z, and there's 250,000 miles on the silly thing. And yeah, like you were saying, those kids are the ones that are right now that they're the most angry. But guess what? Their dream car was a Z, and their dream was to see where the next Z was going to go, whether it be they get out of high school and get a job to try to to buy that car, or they're going to college thinking, I'm going to get my degree. That's my present to myself. It's going to be a nice, fun Z. And how would you like to think that you graduated school in, say, 2010, and 10 years later, basically, it's the same car. I mean,
yeah, exactly, Dave. And that's kind of, I think that's kind of something that maybe somebody's missing along the point. Is a kid is able to pick up a little bit of a fast car at a young age. He buys an 06 Z, and he's going through college, and he's got he works his ass off on the side, affords a Z and does some upgrades, and he loves it, and he's like, he's locked into that enthusiast lifestyle. And you know what? Maybe he gets through college. Maybe he starts making some money. And now he's like, you know what? I loved my Z so much. I want to move up. The only thing that he's moving up to is an Infinity.
Right. No,
he's getting the what was it?
The
QX60?
Yeah, the Q60.
Q60. I saw one on the way home today. They're effing phenomenal.
Yeah,
they're
great
beautiful.
Car.
But if you're an enthusiast, you don't want a luxury sports car. You want a sports car.
Right.
You want a bare bones sports car. You want to be able to take that thing to the track. And a QX60 is too expensive for a track car, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean,
well, you're looking at, okay, so right now the Z base is out at 29,000, basically 30,000. It's 29,999. And 30,000 anymore, you're like, oh, it's not outrageous anymore, but that car is so underwhelming. For $30,000, you can get a mom and pop grandma cruiser anymore that's got more horsepower in this car, you know? I mean, you can go for $30,000, you can go get a stripped down Challenger or something that's, I hate to say, probably a 100 times better car right now. The only thing that concerns me is are they doing like they did with the Xterra, and it's just, let's just keep kind of whoring this thing out as long as we can, and then when it's done its thing, we just stop building them?
If that happens, I think Nissan is going to take a shit in the woods, Dave.
Really?
A shit. I mean, they're going to. What I think would happen is Bobby Nissan he's gonna be wearing some basketball pants, and he's gonna eat way too many prunes, like a day ahead before the auto show, and he's gonna be like, I gotta go present on this. Next thing you know, Bobby Nissan is like, hey, I can't show up, and he runs out into the woods, and he shits all over the place, Dave.
Oh man, there's a lot of poop jokes tonight.
That's a metaphor for Nissan shitting all over the place if they don't start getting some of that Nissan love out in the world.
Well, look at this generation of the Z. They call it I believe what they call the FM platform for like front mid engine or something. I forget what that stands for. But you know, so it's 332 horsepower for the 3.7 liter in it. Dan, I hate to say, like I was saying earlier, that is the only cool thing about the Z currently is you can still get a manual transmission in the car, which makes it somewhat fun. But if you're looking, okay, everybody thought when that Infiniti Q60 came out, they thought, okay, there's the next platform. The Z's far behind. And what do? Nothing. And that car went from a 3.7 to the turbo. Is it I believe a twin turbo 3 liter? Or
twin turbo, yeah.
And you're like, holy cow, that's 400 horsepower in that car. The next Z is going to be wicked, man. Because the name of the game for car manufacturers now is how many platforms, or on this platform, how many cars can I build off of it? So Infiniti, I've voiced my concern that Nissan really doesn't need Infiniti anymore in previous episodes, but you're like, okay, there's 2 cars you can get out of this thing now. And what do? Nothing. Just I don't know. And
they shit the bed, Dave. They woke up and they're like, "Oh man, my sheets are brown."
Went too many drinks last night.
They've been shitting the bed like it's going out of style. They need a colostomy bag. Can Nissan get a colostomy bag up in here, please?
Well, you know, as us being hardcore fanboys too, this makes it rough when you've got to defend this sometimes, and you know you can get in these. I don't know how you defend this because. At least Toyota, even though the Supra or whatever you want to call that BMW now,
at least they made a run of it.
Yeah.
At this point, you could come out with literally anything and make people happier than what you're doing with the sticker game that you've been doing for the last 3 years.
Or you badge a Nismo with some color panels and the mirrors that are different color, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the GTR they did more for the GTR than they did for the Z. The GTR, they gave it a new. I would call it a refresh on the GTR, but they've refreshed it a couple times. The refresh they gave the GTR, they gave it a little bit more horsepower. They gave it some more louvers. They gave it some seat stuff. It gave it a little bit better design in the front end. Better, you know, it's all cosmetic, but I think they gave it a little bit bigger brake, right?
Yeah, for that. But that's like the Nismo Track Edition. I mean, that you're talking. Yeah. That car is starting out at about $130,000, man. So
yeah.
So,
but still, Dave, it's still more than they did with the sticker package for the 370Z.
No doubt. So,
and it's almost like they spit in the face of the 50th year anniversary. It's just, it's so frustrating.
What really bothers me is I'm friends with a bunch of people that work for Nissan, and I'm in the land of Nissan. You're bound to run into some of these people. So some of my friends that were at the New York Auto Show. I see comments on them, and somebody posted, "Yeah, we know how to do this heritage thing right." And I said, "That's all you know how to do, is talk about your heritage."
Well, they did the heritage thing right if they were rolling out a new vehicle.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
That was the big problem. They rolled out some badass old Nissan cars that everybody, I mean, we all were like, those are some badass cars. There's nothing wrong with the heritage, but just like your point that you said, Dave, the heritage, they're not in another 50 years. What's going to be the heritage?
The
Leaf.
Leaf.
Know what I'm saying?
The Leaf.
They're going to have one car.
It's going to be a Leaf, man.
Yeah, exactly. I messaged Dave and Holden. The race Leaf looks cooler.
Yes.
Than all the cars up there. I mean, I said the race, what's the race Leaf? Do they call it something, or is it just?
I don't know what
the Leaf they're racing right now in the E class or whatever. If they were to take a ton of those body lines and mold that and do a little bit of a collaboration between what they're racing in the race Leaf and a GTR or even the 370Z, if they were to take some of that and move it over, oh man, that would be a beautiful car. And I hate to say that, an electrical race car could possibly be. Shit, Dave, I'm saying it here first. People, turn up your stereos. If they made a 390Z that was all electric, I would still cream my pants.
Yeah.
And be stoked. Just make something effing new, Nissan. What the hell? Did you run out of money? Are you so financially broke that you can't make a damn car anymore? What's going on?
Watch out, guys. Danny is fired up.
Get it.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The throwback BRE style striping stuff they did on that car, it looks cool. I'm not going to say that but what it looks like is like somebody forgot that the 50th anniversary was coming up, and they were like, "Oh crap, that's next week." Whoa, let's fire up the vinyl cutter and let's do because it's supposed to be a throwback to the BRE race car, and there's no blue in this car. Like I'm at a loss. It's white and red. Those colors go together nice.
I'm so with you, Dave.
The coolest thing in that car is the seats.
Yeah,
I hate to.
There was a cool stitching.
Yeah, I would have been more excited if they would have said, "Hey, we're going to produce 100 of those, the ones that Holden seen at Atlanta Auto Show, the orange car, with the twin turbo
with the twin turbo motor in it."
If you said we're doing a limited run of that, every fanboy, that would have excited the fan base. As of right now, and I know we're beating a dead horse here, guys, and hang with us. We have something else, the new horse to beat up here in a minute, but it would have given people hope, and this does not give people hope. And if you're going to kill the car or you're not, all this is like rubbing that when that dog pees on your carpet and you rub his nose in it. That's what you're doing to your fanboys right now, your community. You're rubbing their nose in that pee and saying, "Stop."
Preach it, brother Dave. All right, Dave. My big question for tonight.
Uh-oh.
If Nissan were to come out with a new Z, let's call it the 390Z, because they don't like even numbers sometimes, what would it sound like?
It wouldn't. It'd be electric.
Oh, Dave, I need a specific noise. All right, for those of you listening, that was Dave's noise of the 390Z. I'm going to go ahead and put forth my own noise, Dave. And I would like for anybody that's listening to go on our Facebook page or our Instagram and rate who has the better 390Z noise. This would be my suggestion for the 390Z.
Oh, so that scream at the end, is that where it blows up, or is that the driver?
That's where your girlfriend's yelling at you to slow down.
Well, so they showed us the 2020 GTR Nismo, and they put some louvers over the front tires, and I don't know the aerodynamics of this car. I guess it looks cool. It's a GTR. I'm in love with them no matter what. But the kind of normal 50th anniversary, they came out, and it's going to be in a couple different colors in the premium model, and it's going to have some special badging. But what we've decided, guys, since Nissan is into their heritage, you know what anniversary's coming up? It's the Frontier anniversary.
Oh, buddy.
And they call that the 15-year anniversary, guys. And it's a special
anniversary.
It's a special anniversary. So hopefully next year that the Frontier's around, we get that special badging, and maybe they'll do a BRE version of that.
Maybe they'll give us some louvers and some stickers.
But
Seats.
But anyway, so we've partnered with Lifestyle Off-Road guys, and if you purchase a 2020 Nissan Frontier, the Nissan Nation podcast is going to donate a 15-year anniversary sticker to you. Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is, if we want to see the year of the truck, you got to prove it's a 2020 Frontier, and you're getting a Nissan Nation podcast 15-year anniversary.
15-year anniversary with the, what do they call those things on the sides? Louvers? No, not the louvers. The fedoras? What do they call them, Dave?
I don't know what they call that badge, man.
No, what was the guy that he said it a million times and you were complaining about it?
No, that was Holden complaining about it.
Oh, Holden.
Remember
Just
Holden?
when we needed him to step in.
Oh, remember Holden?
I remember him. He's that young kid. You know what? He went to bed early tonight. Me and Dave,
that's right,
drinking the whiskey and. Well,
and if you can't tell, guys,
wine.
this has been an old school show where Dave and Danny fire up the old. I'm drinking some whiskey and beer, and
just yammer on about bullshit all night.
We just let it go, man. So either Danny, this creates more fans, or this makes people go, "What have I been listening to?"
We're just gonna burn out our current fans until Holden gets back. Either way,
they're like 90 episodes. Well, what have I been listening to?
what have I been burning my time with?
But so
what's next, Dave?
Well, to kind of close out. I know we've got some big stuff coming from the auto show. That next episode you'll hear. But to kind of close out on this part of it, I had told everybody, I was going up there, and after seeing what I've seen, I'm so glad I saved that trip for another time, man. I would have been excited. I'd have been that fanboy, looking at all the dream cars. But ultimately, I think it was a disappointment, guys. And to kind of close up, beating on Nissan a little bit, Nissan needs leadership bad, Dan. There's no direction to this company anymore. I think even Ghosn clocked out a long time ago on direction of the company. And I just feel like that Renault is sitting there waiting to go, okay, you're in trouble again. We've got that 41%. Why don't we just add 10 more percent to that?
It just feels so much like Nissan is treading water until someone makes a decision or someone comes in and takes over. I mean, that's the only thing that I can justify what they've been doing. They're treading water until I don't know when.
That is, it's fitting that you say treading water, because the picture I'm looking at, the Nismo GTR is in the rain, and just the little GIF they've got there is just water splashing. So, but you know what is treading water? Holden has been treading water, and Holden. God, I can't ever say this. Holden has a new rant, man. So,
Holden Scroats.
That's right, man. So, without further ado, let's get to this week's Holding On with Holden.
Let's do it.
Holding on just a minute. What's up, everybody? It's Holden from the Nissan Nation podcast, bringing you this week's installment of What is Holden Holding On To? I thought we'd have some fun, exciting news to be talking about with the New York Auto Show. Nissan teased us a little bit with the pictures, with the shadowy cars. We got a little bit excited. I honestly thought we'd see something worthwhile. But instead, here we are talking about how we slapped some stickers on a vehicle, and I'm going to run that out there. That's like the equivalent of you talking to your 70-year-old grandfather, and he's telling you how 50 years ago he set the track record for state. And you going, you know what, grandfather? To celebrate the 50th anniversary of you doing that, let's get you back out there on the track. And you go down to the local sporting goods store, buy the ugliest looking spandex tracksuit you can find, throwing Grandpa in there and throwing him out on the track against Usain Bolt. How do you think that's going to really wind up? You might say, Holden, what the f*** did you just compare that to? All I'm saying, guys, is you got an old-ass Z, and it's running up against the Supra. The Supra is coming back. It's faster, better than ever, and we just got done slapping some stickers on a Z. I mean, our sign above the New York Auto Show said, innovation that excites. It should say innovation that can't think of anything better than stickers. I mean, this is honestly making me a little bit worried. I'm worried that the next gen Frontier, we might be celebrating the 15th anniversary of that exact body style, and we might be looking at just slapping some decals on their 15th anniversary edition and running that out there like it's something new. We might never see a new Frontier the way this is going. Anyways, that's all I got for this week. Until next time, Nissan Nation, keep holding on.
So that was the Holden effect, or whatever Holden's calling it this week, man. Holden, he's an angry dude sometimes, man, and he's a Marine, man. So that's, I guess, the Marine coming out of him every once in a while.
Yeah, Holden my junk is what I like to call that that segment.
Holden my junk. And speaking of Holden, man, I want to say my hat is off to Mr. Holden because he was with Nissan in Atlanta building a house, Danny. And I know
I will give a hat tip to that one.
He went out there. He represented the podcast. He represented Titan XD, and he represented Regal Nissan, man. So I want to say thank you to Holden out there. I know he was doing a lot of hard work where other people weren't. Other people were taking pictures with hammers, and Holden was out there actually turning some concrete around and mixing it and.
Yeah, they were doing the Lord's work, as I'd like to say. Habitat for Humanity. They had did they have the Titan out there?
No, it's in Dallas right now. But
okay. But there was a famous football player out there with them as well, right?
Yeah, he was a running back. Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker. Yeah. So they had him out there helping out. Hat tip to those fellas, and hat tip to Nissan for partnering up with Habitat for Humanity. They
actually do a lot of good things like it. Like I'm sure GM
that's a very cool thing.
I'm sure GM and everybody does something, but it seems like Nissan, they like to throw it out there, whether it be with the Red Cross or Habitat for Humanity or whatever they're working on. They, good for them, man.
We like Nissan for that. That's one of the reasons why I like Nissan. I've noticed it more recently, I would say. But they really they've been trying to, not only sell vehicles or whatever, but use some of their powers of industry to promote some good stuff across the U.S. And we can appreciate that, and we can say thanks to all the people that they employ and or get into that spirit of giving and giving back to the community. So. Hat tip to that for a serious note for a very short time on the. Let me emphasize a very short time on a serious note, Dave.
Very, very short time. And I know he actually got some interviews that we're going to bring on next week and talk about that stuff. But anyways, Danny, before we run out of this episode, man, what's going on with your race truck? I seen some pictures of you doing some things the other day, and you launched a new video.
I did launch a new video. It's kind of a lowdown video. I wasn't super stoked on the amount of work I did. I made some lines for the fuel system. I didn't get too far into it. I washed it real good. Painted a bunch of stuff. A lot of little just little stuff. Driven Desires is supposed to be finishing up the wiring harness within the next week, getting that back to me. Brake lines have just got to me. I got some new tools to make sure and get my brake lines all bent up correctly. I got some flaring tools for all the double flare ends and stuff that I'm putting on the brakes. I got a new PRP steering wheel. I got all the quick release for my steering. What else?
I seen your little boy was in the video with you. That was kind of fun.
My little broski. I don't know if. Have we had I officially adopted my son, Hunter. Hunter Matthew James Groders is my new son. So
speaking of God's work, man.
I'm happy about that. We've had him for a year and a half. I may have glazed over it once or twice, but a huge part of my life. I took in a foster son a year and a half ago from basically a druggy father and mother, and
just a bad situation.
This is my official shout out that I officially adopted him a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't be effing happier.
Nice, man. And it was nice. Just if you're friends with Danny on Facebook, because y'all been couldn't show pictures or anything for the longest.
Yeah, you can't really do too much on the social media as far as showing. I've talked to select people, and I'm sure the word may have got around, and and mentioning it on the side or whatnot. But yeah, I have a son now, and it's freaking awesome. He's the coolest dude in the world.
Our buddy Wendy said in Wyoming, we're all Titans in our community in some way, Danny, and you were a Titan for saving that little boy's life, really.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a Titan. I just I did what God told me to do, Dave.
Well,
and I love the little dude to death. He's the coolest little dude, and you know what? He may pop up, and he's going to be the real race truck.
Yeah.
Guy. He's going to grow up doing this. I just do this as a hobby, and I'm shithead meddling my way through it. At this point, it's all on me now. So I've been asking a million people on how to do things and what to do, and hopefully I'll be able to teach him the right way to do it after I do it all wrong. So that's basically how the racetrack's going. I'm planning on doing everything wrong and about 4 times, and that way by the time my new son is old enough, I can teach him all the right way to do things, so that he doesn't have to spend the 7 times too much money on all the wrong things.
Well, it was nice that at least you've got him started on the Cars movies, man. So you've got him going.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, Danny, I'd hinted around it on Instagram video, but the Xterra is about to go for sale, man.
Your Xterra?
Yep, my Xterra is about to go up for sale. So
wait, which one?
My 2000 Xterra, my SAST one.
Oh man, this is news to me right now, guys. So you're hearing it first on the NNP. It's a pretty legit, somewhat freshened up 2000 Xterra.
Yeah. New timing belts, SAST, all the fun stuff. But if I want that Z in the driveway, man, I've got to make room in my driveway, and I've already got one of Kelly's never given up hers. And
I get that, and I mean, as you know, I think the second gen's a much better vehicle when it comes down to it.
Well,
but
I think we'll agree to disagree on that. But
are we going to go ahead and get a Z and do some track days and stuff with it, Dave?
Well, we don't have a lot of track days out here, man. The Nashville Super Speedway is closed down here that would have any kind of track fun, and there's always Z. We could go to the Z thing in Atlanta.
Well, it sounds like you already got a plan. Let's do it.
I have a plan. And, speaking of that, we were talking about maybe a Nismo. What was that? What was the thing we did out there in 15?
There was NISFest in 15 that you came out to. But we are talking about some new Nissan related, some really big SoCal related Nissan shows.
Right.
I've been talking to some guys about going to. So
our buddy Rick Rick.510 is trying to get his
and
car
you know
ready.
what? If you're not following him on Instagram, one, he takes amazing pictures of GTR of all kinds of killer Nissans, and he's documenting his 510 build, which I want to see. Maybe he's putting a K24 in his Nissan. I got to go back and look. I can't remember. But he's putting a cool motor in his 510. I know that. I want to say it's a K24.
I want to say it's the RB.
If it's an RB, it's even cooler.
Yeah.
Either way, he's putting a cool motor in his 510, and the car itself is pretty amazing. He's putting a 6-speed in it, I think, if I remember right.
Pretty showroom fresh right now, man, and he's not even done with it.
Yeah, he should be finishing. He's working to finish it by August, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Before the big car show, which is totally blanking on me right now, and I blanked earlier when I was talking to Dave about trying to come out. So, yeah, follow him. Cool stuff happening as far as the old school Nissan stuff and the local SoCal guys. There's cool stuff happening in the Nissan world. It may not be with Nissan corporate, but in the down home grassroots enthusiast world, there's so much cool stuff happening.
Right.
You know, from our last show with what's his name, Dave? It's escaping me. Red Bear. We'll call him Red Bear.
The Red Baron. Yeah.
Red Baron Racer. I just contacted him. I'm trying to find a time when I can get out to his races.
Yeah.
God, that would be so much fun.
And you know, hopefully people like that episode too, man. I know that was one of my longest interviews ever, but man, the dude is very, like, just to hear his story is like, and he was very honest about, you know, that he made mistakes and he was kind of paying for him, really, it sounded like. So so cool guy, down to earth. I love it. But you know, and I was asked earlier today, hey, are you guys going to Gone Moab? Are you doing this? And guys, I would love to go to every Nissan event I could, but we've done some of these events. Like, if I wouldn't do Went on the podcast if it wasn't my own event. Like, I've done it. You know, the podcast has done it many times, but we really want to break new ground and you know, try new things. So I know I was hit up earlier tonight about, hey, you guys haven't been to Gone in a while, and there is a cost associated with this podcast. And if you want to help with that cost, go to our Patreon. You can go over there and type in Nissan Nation Podcast. And I don't really have, other than just you guys helping out, I don't really have any bonus stuff for you currently. But our buddy Austin Schmidt's been kind enough to help out. And then there's another one that I think that's been kind enough to help out. So if you want to help us that way, guys, if like Danny said earlier, if you just want to help the show, give us some 5 stars, man. If you really like what we do, that's going to help us too.
Yeah, give us some reviews, subscribe on our YouTube, and you know, there's still that Amazon on our website, you know, NissanNationPodcast.com. Click on that and click on the Amazon app before you go shop on Amazon. Throw us a couple kickbacks, and we can make a couple bucks that way as well.
Right.
But from there, guys, we're happy to provide you with a show.
I don't know what's going on there, but Danny's got the scratchy mic going on.
Oh, scratchy mic. One of these days I'm gonna get a new mic, Dave.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Anyways, yeah. So guys, anything you can do does help out. I hate to sound like we're like whoring ourselves out for a couple dollars, but there's nothing that when you help us, it's helping you. So I know Danny's giving me shit right now because he knows how. I mean, we do
Dave's
appreciate.
Too nice. We spend many nights, I say, talking on these microphones, talking about topics. Support us, love us, because we love you, and we are trying to provide you with love and affection of a Nissan quality. So love us back. Love us back, I say.
We prefer love with dollars. Is that what you're saying, Danny?
Love us back in any way you can, even if it's just a couple clicks of a mouse or taps of a finger on a phone. Love us back, I say.
That's right, man. But anyways, go to our like Danny said, the website. You can click Amazon, Patreon, help us that way, or just YouTube, guys. That's the way to help the show continue on, and that's going to help the show get to these new places that we want to go. So, Danny, I think that's it, buddy. I think that's a show. That's a classic Dave and Danny show.
Too much wine, too much whiskey, and a whole lot of good Nissan schisms.
That's right, man. So, from all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to wherever you listen to us, this is your Nissan Nation podcast. And what are we, Danny?
Oh!
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.